watch the UFOs come in. You know, they'd come in pairs and then circle, and then all of a sudden they did split and zoom, and so.
Oh, there's a Mothman. Mothman Museum. The legend of the Mothman. They have a statue here and everything. Right, guys, here we are today on the banks of the Ohio River in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where the myth of the Mothman all started back in the 1960s. There straight ahead you can see the current bridge across the river, the Silver Bridge Memorial Bridge. In the 1960s, there was a series of sightings of a creature that they described as the Mothman in and around the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. A few weeks before that bridge, the previous bridge, Silver Bridge right there, plunged into the Ohio River, killing everyone that was on it. There were cars on it at the time, and they all died. So the legend of the Mothman continued and persisted, where people didn't know if the Mothman caused the bridge to fail, if the Mothman was some sort of alien or spirit creature that was warning that the bridge had an impending failure. We don't really know for sure, but the legend lives on. And after that happened, after the bridge fell in the river, it was eventually rebuilt, but there was a series of suspicious looking government type vehicles, people wearing suits, men in black type people, that would, when approached, would disappear or leave, but would mysteriously show up. And it all adds to part of the mystery that still to this day we don't have a lot of answers for. But this town along the river here has kind of embraced it. Just a week ago they had a Mothman festival. It's a yearly festival they have here every year. They're at a state park here. This is where the Kanawha River, flowing from West Virginia, the Kanawha River flows into the Ohio River and meets here. And you got the quaint little town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Cool log cabin, looks like a museum, and a monument here. From the Battle of Point Pleasant. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe while we explore the town and see what is still here. It's an old brick street. It's like it heads all the way down to the river. And there you see the confluence of the Kanawha and Ohio rivers. Bunker 304. Mothman escape room. Chilly fall night, November of '66. Two young couples drove in the TNT area north of Point Pleasant. One of the greatest mysteries of all time. Legacy began. It started here, and then afterwards, you do some research, people have seen them all over the place. But for some reason, it started here, along the river, right before the Silver Bridge collapsed. It's the Mothman Museum. Not gonna check that out today. We'll keep on riding through. Mothman mini golf. So you see the town's really embraced it. Kind of a quiet river town with an extraordinary history. See pictures of Mothman everywhere, Mothman comics. Or this maybe they just got done with the festival, Mothman Festival. Welcome to Point Pleasant, like the old movie theater, 20th and 21st. Let's go check out the museum here. The Mansion House Museum. What a cool old log cabin. Hi.
Oh, welcome.
Hi. Hey, I'm a YouTuber. I'm doing a documentary on Point Pleasant and the Mothman. So I just wonder, what do you think about the Mothman stories?
Well, it gets too much attention.
Yeah.
But there were things going on.
Yeah.
Before he was sighted, my dad was a coon hunter, and we were in BNT&T. There's a residential area there too at the beginning. We stood like fools. And I always say this is before I did drugs and stuff. And then I knew there was one of my friends in homeschool or a homeroom class came to school shaking and crying and stuff. Now, I look for Mothman all the time.
Yeah.
A bunch of us did. I never saw him.
But you saw UFOs before even the Mothman.
I saw the UFOs with my parents. I was, the bridge fell. This was 12. I was 12 with my parents because bridge fell when I was 13. And then I like to tell people that these kids don't know how much fun TNT used to be because all the roads used to be open.
Yeah.
So we raced our cars and we kissed our boyfriends and all this kind of stuff. And there was one section that we were parked at. You could hear wailing and moaning under the ground, like hundreds of people. And we got out there real quick. And then later I talked to a friend of mine who'd been there years later. And I said, you and John were there, da-da-da-da. Did you ever hear anything? And she had heard it. So that's my extent of it. I did see the bridge fall. I was in line. And I do tell my Mothman crowd because they are the best. I have so much fun with the Mothman people.
Yeah.
They're just here for a good time. I said, Mothman wasn't there. I was, you know. So.
Wow. So you just missed it.
Here, for sure.
Yeah. So you were waiting in line and just narrowly missed ending up on the bridge.
A little bit about it, a little bit better. The only bridge, you know where it was.
Yeah.
See, that's that.
Yep.
The railroad bridge, and of course that's it. And there were a light at each end. The bridge was built for Model T cars in 1928.
Yeah.
And when they put Route 35 in, all the tractor trailers had to cross the old Shadle Bridge, come down, and cross this to continue Route 35. Well, why they had a light at each end? Because the tractor trailers were always sitting. And we said for years, this is going to fall.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Okay, so we were here, and we were going over here to the grocery store to do our big shopping, right?
Yeah.
And we're waiting for the light to turn green. And then the last minute, one of my parents said to the other, let's not. Let's get milk and bread and go home. So when the light over here turned green, instead of going up on the ramp, we turned left and went around that first block, and then I felt vibration all the way up through the car and the floor, and that's when I turned and saw the further beam there go up like this.
Wow.
Of course, it's slow motion, and I'm blind, I can't get it out, and then it went down. And then these two towers, they just shook violently, and then they just dropped. And
wow.
Mom, the bridge fell. She started screaming. Dad runs over here, and he's hearing people scream. So that's about all I have that I can offer you.
Wow, that's an amazing story. A narrow miss that you were that close, and
we were, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. The good Lord was looking out for you that day for sure.
He really was. I know that. When I've been discouraged, I think, oh God, you got a plan for me. You did not. You know, you mentioned God. Well, I'll tell you another little side note. I would have dreams of bridges falling after that, but then when I got born again in my car, driving down the road by the river. When I would dream of bridges, they never fell anymore.
Wow.
There could be high water, flood waters underneath and scary. They never fell. And so
wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Amazing story. Thanks for taking time to speak with me.
And you know about the history, right?
Yep.
Okay, you're doing good.
Yep.
And if you know Chris Reiser, or if you need to ask anything else, my park ranger has a wonderful way of doing details. But anyway.
Okay. All right.
Oh, well.
That's fine. I'm just kind of riding around town checking stuff out. So.
Oh, yeah.
But.
How long are you going to be in town?
Just for the day. So.
Oh, shoot, because this weekend the grounds will be full of reenactors. Where are you from?
Ohio, just across the river, but a little ways.
Nice talking with you.
Hey, good talking with you. Have a good day. But there you have it. A little bit of extra history of the Silver Bridge and the Mothman in Point Pleasant. It appears there's a lot of strange stuff that's happened here. Mothman related to UFOs. This is the first time I've heard someone say it sounded like hundreds of people howling underground in the old TNT plant area. I don't have an explanation for that. I don't know that anybody does. So there you have it. Eye-hand account, witness account of the Silver Bridge going into the river. Amazing story. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you out on the trail.